Hello guys, in today's video we are going to present you the top 5 best garden vacuum available on the market. We made this list on our personal preference and sorted it based on their prices, quality, durability and reputation of the manufacturers. Check out the description to find out their prices and more information. We've included the links in the description below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe and hit the bell button for the upcoming video notification. So without further ado, let's get started. The number one position is dominating by VonHaus 3-in-1 garden vacuum. If you can stretch your budget by around a $5, the VonHaus 3-in-1 leaf blower, garden vacuum and mulcher is a better machine than the QGarden. Okay, the collection bag is only 35 liters compared to the 45 liters of the QGarden, but the VonHaus is better in all other departments. It's powered by a 3000 watt motor, so clearing up leaves and other debris is quicker, and at 3.5 kg it's almost half the weight too. It has a shoulder strap, but also a set of wheels on the end of the blower tube, so working for prolonged periods of time is very comfortable. Working between the vacuum and blower is super easy by flicking the big orange switch. The VonHaus performs surprisingly well too, given its bargain price. Its leaf blower function is impressive, and when you switch it to vacuum mode, it picks up leaves with ease. It even handles wet leaves fairly well and mulches them brilliantly. That said, if you bury the nozzle in a pile of leaves, it has a tendency to block as it sucks too many at once. But by keeping the nozzle on the outside of the pile, had no problems at all. As an added bonus, it comes with a 2-year warranty. Again, if you have a massive area to clear, this VonHaus 3-in-1 leaf blower might not cut it, mainly because you'll be limited by its 10-meter power cord. However, for most regular sized gardens, it's a fantastic piece of kit, and it's not just me that thinks so, it comes very highly rated on Amazon too. Moving on to the next, at number 2, we have BLACKDECKER GBV2500 L20 cordless garden vacuum. If you don't like the idea of being limited by a power cable and you don't want a petrol leaf blower, the cordless model is an excellent compromise. The BLACKDECKER GBV2500 L20 is powered by a 36-volt 2Ah lithium-ion battery, which takes around an hour to charge fully. You have 2 power modes to choose from. Number 1 is turbo mode. It works well for stubborn wet leaves stuck to the ground, and you'll get around 20 minutes of run time. Number 2 is Eco mode, which is perfect for lighter tasks and also gives you more run time. At 4.6 kilograms, it's pretty light and easy to use. It also comes with 2 tubes. One has a narrow nozzle, which is for blowing leaves, and the other has a wider nozzle for sucking them up. The collection bag is fairly small at 7.5 liters. That said, it mulches fairly well, so 7.5 liters goes quite a long way. The main downside is that it's not just that powerful. It's pretty good for light use when conditions are dry, but because it lacks the grunt of even the cheaper electric models in this list, it's pretty useless when leaves are wet. Don't get me wrong, the BLACKDECKER is a decent cordless garden vacuum for light use in dry conditions. However, if you don't want to be limited by a power cord but you want the power, take a look at my next pick. Number 3 position is holding by QGarden QBGV2500 garden vac. If budget is your main priority, then the Q-Garden QBGV2500 has to be worth considering. You'll probably not recognize the brand, but for the very cheap price, you get a lot of machine. It's easy to assemble and use at 2500 watts. The motor is pretty powerful. I found it to be fairly lightweight too, and it only weighs 6 kilograms and it comes with a shoulder strap, which makes it easier to swing side to side as you go. It's a 3-in-1 machine, so you can use it as a leaf blower or garden vac, and it will mulch the leaves too. Switching from vacuum to blower is as simple as flicking a switch, and I have to say, I was pretty impressed with its mulching capabilities. It creates quite a coarse dust, which is perfect for mixing into the compost pile or soil to add nutrients. Emptying the 45-liter bag is easy too, just undo the zip and tip out the contents. Naturally though, there are a couple of issues. Firstly, although the vacuum functions works well when sucking up dry leaves, it's not great when the leaves are wet. It can either fail to pick them up at all, and if it does, it has a tendency to block. Secondly, the tube length is quite short, so if you're on the taller side, you might find yourself having to bend over slightly while using it. This might not sound like a big deal, but it can be quite painful on your back. Overall, if you have a fairly limited budget, a small garden, and you don't see yourself using a leaf blower or garden vacuum all that often, the Q-Garden QBGV2500 is a decent machine. However, if you have a larger garden which you intend to keep free of fallen leaves, you might want to consider a different machine. At number 4, we have McCulloch GBV2500 Petrol Garden Vacuum. If you need the freedom of colorless model and more power, a Petrol garden vacuum is your best bet. The McCulloch GBV322 is a decent, well-priced option. Powered by a 25cc 2-stroke engine, it will blow up to 320 km per hour, making short work of blowing away even with leaves. Like the BLACKDECKER, changing it from a leaf blower to vacuum involves changing the tube. A benefit to this is that it stores away nice and compact. That said, it's preferable to vacuum any leaves when they're dry or damp. Despite being more powerful than the cordless and electric models, I still found it had a tendency to jam when sucking up a lot of wet leaves, although it's simple enough to unblock. Considering it has a petrol engine, it's surprisingly light at 4.25 kg. I found it light enough to hold in one hand, although it does get heavier the more you fill the 45-liter collection bag. There are a couple of issues, and firstly, I found it to be pretty loud, and secondly, it vibrated a lot, which made my hand feel like it was numb. Overall, the McCulloch GBV322 is a decent garden bag for the money. Just remember though, it is fairly cheap, so it's not perfect. Finally, at number 5 of Echo ES-250ES Shred and Vac. If build quality and performance are more important to you than cost, then the Echo ES-250ES Shred and Vac is a fantastic machine. And although it's more expensive than other machines on the list, it's still not overly expensive. The build quality is exceptional, which is reflected in the fact that it comes with a 5-year domestic guarantee. It's very easy to start and use, and it performs excellently as both a leaf blower or garden vac, even when the leaves are wet. And it will move leaves at a ratio of 12:1, meaning you can pack loads of leaves into the collection bag. The whole thing weighs 5.6 kilograms and is designed to be used in one hand. All the controls are grouped together so you can get to them with your thumb. It also features a throttle lock so you don't need to keep the trigger pressed, which often tires your hand. When I tasted this machine, it didn't fool me once. It started every time and never blocked, and it made quick work of tidying my garden. Out of all the models I've tested, the Echo ES-250ES Shred and Vac that's still in my shed. For me, it's the best garden vac on this list.